I replied flippantly, yes, I will travel in cattle class out of solidarity with all our holy cows. I mean, it was a joke in the same spirit as the question, or so I thought. No, but then it taught me a very valuable lesson that I've held very precious ever since. And for a politician, there could be no better motto than it doesn't matter what your intentions are, what you're trying to say. All that matters is what people believe or can be told to believe that you have said. All of the above may be true. I've written a couple of rueful articles about that episode and about the general issue of humor in politics. But in fact, in that particular case, I was totally not guilty. So, I mean, he was a journalist in those days, and he wrote a question using a phrase. Now, I had just come from America earlier that year, where it's an extremely common expression. It's been in circulation for about 30 years. It does not disparage any of the travelers. It disparages the airlines and the airline industry for treating human beings like cattle. I replied flippantly, yes, I will travel in cattle class out of solidarity with all our holy cows. I mean, it was a joke in the same spirit as the question, or so I thought. Little did I anticipate, because I went off to Africa the same day on an official visit. And so I was literally traveling almost 24 hours. We had to go via Brussels, change planes. He was calling for my resignation because of and I thought the holy cows must have offended somebody, but no one was reacting to that. It was the cattle class. So, no, but then it taught me a very valuable lesson that I've held very precious ever since, which is, to quote Shakespeare, which I should have known, the success of a jest Shakespeare wrote 400 years ago resides not in the tongue of the teller, but in the ear of the hearer. And for a politician, there could be no better motto than it doesn't matter what your intentions are, what you're trying to say. All that matters is what people believe or can be told to believe that you have said. And after that, I've been extremely careful and indeed been very, very wary. I mean, I stopped cracking jokes after that, but then even some words were deliberately twisted. A particularly malicious journalist decided that I actually meant intermediary and said that I was completely destroying Indian foreign policy by making Saudi Arabia an intermediary, which I had never said. Interlocutor means, right now you are my interlocutor, I'm your interlocutor. We're talking to each other, that's all it means. It's a very banal word in diplomatic discourse in the United Nations. So I learned that never use a word unless you're 100% sure that everyone understands it, that it can be translated in the same way in 22 languages, and that no one will misunderstand you. It became a bit of a challenge for me. The thing was, I was using words that I would have used and had used in St. Stephen's College debates in India 40 or 50 years previously. But what to do? I got saddled with that. No, Indians have a great sense of humor, especially Punjabis who have good jokes about themselves. No, the truth is that politics is a place where humor has found it difficult to fly. I've found that there are some jokes that people do get and enjoy in Parliament. And every year, some intrepid bureaucrat does a collection of wit and humor in Parliament, not all of which is very funny. And so the desire not to cause offense outstrips the desire to make people laugh. And so you end up with this kind of relatively humorless politics. By comparison with what you see in other Western democracies and so on. And we are not a Western democracy, we are an Indian democracy, but nonetheless, in democracies, a certain amount of humor is not a bad thing. It particularly causes offense, but at the same time is funny and does make a point. That combination is not always easy to pull off, particularly in a multilingual country.